Hey everyone, welcome to this week's webinar, and the webinar is called Social Media Kickstarter and Social Media Career Kickstarter, and it's called that because we want to reach out to all of you who are just about to start your careers in social media, whether it be if you could be looking at interning as a social media executive, or you could be looking at transitioning into social media profiles. So we wanted to do this every week, where the format really is that we start with a case study, typically a tool, take you through a tool and give a little bit of context around it. And a business context. So that's how we typically start, and then we also have some tips for all of you who are looking at who are currently in your first assignments in social media, and 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 we end with the latest internships that are there, including work from home kind of internships, right? So let's begin with the first thing, which is a case study. And so today, what we're going to do is talk about Twitter ads. Right now, let me just give a little bit of background here. Right now, when you talk about ads on social media, right? First, we need to understand uh, who for whom are you doing these ads, right? Is this a B2B kind of business, or is this a B2C kind of business? Now, what is a B2C business? So that's, I think most of you would know that a B2C business, which means a business to consumer kind of scenario. So Learning Catalyst, for example, is a good example of a B2C business, because you're trying to reach out to people who are trying to make careers in digital marketing, right? So that's a B2C business. And so if for that context, if you want to do ads and if you want to reach out to people, so Facebook is perfect, and that's what you're doing right now, right? We are doing the primarily trying to reach out to folks on Facebook. Now, if you look at a B2b scenario, right? So where a B2b scenario would be, say, a manufacturing company or a software house or a software product kind of a company, right? Now, there, the target audience is not on Facebook, and they don't spend time on Facebook. Even if they are on Facebook, I mean, they would be on Facebook, but they don't talk work on Facebook, right? So where do they do that? It's on Twitter, right? So if you want to accelerate your reaching out to such people, and if you're thinking about ads, the natural answer to that is doing Twitter ads, right? So let's just get into let's get into that. So I'll just share my screen, and we can discuss that.
Hey everyone, so we're going to be talking about why Twitter is really your best bet for if your objective is visibility during conferences and events, and especially for the B2B sector. Now, we must understand that every platform has its use case, right? So it is best used for something, and this is something which brands don't really get readily. So Facebook is best used for casual and very general purpose conversations and videos, and if you as a brand can do that, that's the best way to use it, right? Instagram is best used if you have visual stuff to put up which relates to your brand and which can connect with your audience, right? Likewise, Twitter is best used for visibility during conferences and events, because what happens is, and this is especially for B2B conferences, so for digital marketing, software, manufacturing, training, HR, these kind of verticals. That's and conferences where such kind of people meet. There's a lot of conversation on Twitter, and that's a great use case for using Twitter. Okay, the best example, the best validation of this really is this. Let me just pull that up. Yeah, this is a calendar which Twitter releases every month to all the agencies, and it basically summarizes the various events which are the main global events which are happening that month, right? So, for example, 8th January there was a consumer electronics show, and there's a figure there which denotes the number of impressions for conversations around the topic. So it's 422 million, which means 422. There were 422 million tweets maybe last year, which spoke about, which were about the show, right? Like, so if you look at March now, right, let's look at March. And in March, you have the Geneva International Motor Show, which had 18 million impressions. There is the Music Awards, and some other. And these need not be just offline events. They could be, events which the web fraternity follows also, right? So, so like International Women's Day, right, which is followed worldwide and online. It's a big thing, right? Now, how do you so one is, yes, when the event is happening, you can be present, you can see what are the relevant hashtags and start using it. And the other interesting thing is that you can directly reach out to people who are using these hashtags, and you can do that in the Twitter ad panel. So that's open in front of you right now, and you can see that if you go into the targeting section, right? So you, in within ad groups, you have details, targeting, creative, right? So let's just talk about targeting, because that's what this video is about. Now, if you are a if you are a, say, a magazine which deals with automobiles, and you want to target people who are talking about the Geneva International Motor Show, because you've just seen that it has some 18 million impressions. Okay, and if you want your ad to be present when these in front of these guys who are talking about it. So Twitter has a very cool feature here, which is that you can target people based on. So let's say, if you type motor show, so right there you see that you have under events you have Geneva International Motor Show, and you can add it. Right, once you add it, you see it gets added here. Right, so this is the way, and this is for, I've just shown it for International Motor Show, but for all these other events which are shown in this calendar, you'll be able to put it in the ad panel, and you can make an ad, a copy around it, and this will be shown to all the people who are attending, who are talking online around it. So this is a very neat way of reaching out to people who are talking about a certain event. And
Okay, moving on to the first job tips part of the webinar. Now, see, those of you who have just started working on your assignments, you'll quickly realize that you can divide the activities into the profile. There are three or four kinds of profiles, right? So first is a profile wherein you're required to do a posting on a daily basis across platforms. Yeah. So there you have to think about the creative, draw up a calendar, and that sort of thing. The second bit is ads, paid ads on Facebook. Definitely, Facebook uh, gets a ton of money using because businesses spend on Facebook to reach out to their target audiences, right? So that's the second profile. The third profile uh, would be influencer marketing, wherein you're trying to be visible in the influencers in your category, right? And that's what I just wanted to focus on, right? So one of the first things that you have to do when you're doing influencer marketing is that you have to try and arrive at those set of influencers that you need to be focusing on. So first of all, it's tough, right? It's tough as hell to get the visibility of someone important, right? So the trick is to sometimes not reach out to, not arrive at a set which is too influential because it's kind of out of reach, but especially when you're beginning, right? So arrive at a set of people who practically, it would be possible to try and be visible to them, right? Now, to do this, you need a good tool. And just wanted to take you through through a tool called Follower Wonk. And we're also doing this because it's a free tool and it's pretty neat. So let's get into the tool.
Right. So this video is about how you can look for potential influencers on social media. So for this, we are suggesting a tool called Follower Wonk. Right. So if you go to this tool, and here you look at you go into search bios. So the reason why we are suggesting this tool is that if you try and search for influencers on Twitter, where it becomes a kind of a difficult activity to sort out the handles based on, say, the number of followers. So that's why we are using this tool, which will help us to filter the right kind of profiles. And Follower Wonk has a good filter here, which allows us to, for example, the activity mentions that we want to reach out to influencers who can for a movie release, right? So if you are uh, if you're a production house and you want to reach out to people who do movie reviews, and you don't have the kind of digital marketing budgets for paid media, so this could be a good way to reach out to spread the word, right? So what you have to do is so we are looking at people who have movie reviews in their so you can either look at Twitter profiles or Twitter bios. So let's look at Twitter bios, and you're looking at India, okay? And let's see the kind of results that we get, right? So you will see that all these guys, all these profiles have movie reviews in their bios, okay? And currently they have been sorted by followers, right? So you see you have a good list here. Now what the next step, so this is like a raw list, but you have to now find out 3 or 4 of these whom you can start targeting, and where the idea is to get visibility with few of these, right? So you'll have to then try and see who could be the now if you do this, if you search for this by using what is called an exact match, probably you'll get a better and a narrower filter, right? So I did movie reviews, so I'm now seeing uh, options where people have mentioned movie reviews together in their description, right? So the next step is really to look at these profiles and see which one of these are no, she has a good number of followers. Which one of these are profiles which are interacting with their fans and with people in general? So if we tweet to say NK Pallavi, will she? What are the chances of her responding back or retweeting our tweet? And so the next level of filter has to be that, right? So this is the way you would go about uh, making a list of potential Twitter influencers and then filtering the list based on the likelihood of that profile interacting with you when you actually start tweeting to them. Thanks.
Okay, so right, so the first we 5 in Bombay. The first one is Ideate Labs. Is one of the older agencies, and just looking through their website, they are the agency which is actually into diverse services, including event management, right, and also public relations. So I mean, you typically you have digital agencies, but they don't do PR. They don't do films and videos. They don't do event management. So this is an example of a company which is pretty diverse in its offering. Yeah. So that was one. The other one is Zing HR, which is a uh, HRMS. Yeah, and so think about, so this is a perfect example of what we had discussed some time back, which is this business would really benefit from Twitter ads because it is B2b. It needs visibility during events, and the kind of targeting that was explained some time back. That would be most beneficial for Zing HR. Media Tribe, which is it's, if you look at the profile, it's content writing and social media. So now this uh, and this is typically the case in a lot of such internships where the person is expected to do content writing, which would mean content writing for the website or content writing for email, along with uh, the social media posts. Yeah. Okay. Mitochondria Films, which is a production house. Coconut Media Box, which is also an agency. Yeah. And interestingly, some we also got some work from home. So we're going to be sharing this presentation also, so you can have a look at the links. Uh, right, so all these are internships which you can do from home, and that's really the beautiful thing about digital marketing, right? So you don't require any paid tools. All you require is the skill, and you need time and dedication, and it's going to happen. So this is what these internships are all about. Yeah. So great. I hope you've liked this week's webinar. Please message us. Please tell us what you want to, what are the kind of things that you want us to cover, and we'd be very happy to do that. Right? Cool. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Hey everyone. So welcome to this week.